Welcome back to the second part of how do organisms reproduce. So in this video, we will be covering sexual reproduction. For the first part, we have talked about asexual reproduction. Please check out the video. The link will be in the description. So in sexual reproduction, first we are going to look into the sexual reproduction in flowering plants. So flower is the main organisms or the reproductive organism or organ in the plant. So we will look into the flower, parts of flower. We have sepal, the outermost layer is sepal, and then we have petal, which is colorful. Sometimes it's red, it's yellow, it's purple, it's lavender. So petals have the color. Sepals are usually green, and it is just there for covering the and protecting the buds of the flower. Then we have long filament structures known as stamen. This is the male reproductive organ in flowering plants, and pistil is the female reproductive system of the flowering plants. So let's look into the detail or the structure of stamen. Here you can see stamen I have enlarged here. You can see a part known as filament and anther. Filament is a long structure. Here you can see this whole thing is known as filament. Anther is the topmost structure of the stamen. It has some powdery substance known as pollen grains. So these pollen grains represent the male sexual germline or the male part of the flower. So pistil has the eggs. Where does it have the eggs? It has it in the ovary. This part is known as the ovary. The elongated part is known as style, and stigma, which is sticky in most of the flowering plants. It is bound to catch the pollen grains here through wind or through insects, any natural factor, or sometimes it can be man-made. So these anther will germinate or it will transfer the pollen grains to stigma. This process of transferring pollen grains from anther to stigma is known as pollination. So pollination can happen through wind, through insects, or humans can do it sometimes. So one plant has both male and female reproductive organs. This type of plant is known as bisexual plant.
Register today at KLM Institute for free online classes, revisions, doubt clearance, private online and offline classes, Olympiad exams, and win prizes, scholarships, and much more.
So now what happens when the pollen grains comes and stick on to stigma? You can see here, this is the pollen grain. Pollen grain produces a male germ cell, that is pollen tube, which reaches down through the style. This is the style, students. It reaches down through style and it goes to the ovary. In ovary, what happens is ovary contains ovules which has the egg in it. So the male reproductive pollen grain reach down to the eggs of the ovary and it fertilizes there. After fertilization, you know the process, it divides using mitosis, that is cell division takes place and it grows in size. A hard covering is also been seen in most of the zygotes. So when zygote develops and it dries out, it is known as seed. So seeds can again multiply to form new type of new generation of the same species. That is what we sow in the soil. So the process of this seed forming a new plant is known as germination. You can see here seed containing the future plant or embryo which develops into a seedling under appropriate conditions. That is, if you water them or you sow them in the soil, it leads to a process known as germination. Here in the picture, you can see these are known as green gram sprouts. So this is a classic example for germination. So students, that was about sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Just like we see the plant, and if a flower is there, it is representing the reproductive phase of a plant. That is, if a flower is there, it can reproduce to form a zygote or a seed. Just like that, we will see in humans that we reach sexual maturity in some age during our teens. It does not have to happen at the exact same time for everyone. It varies from person to person. So during this, the changes what we can see are listed down in this table. This process is known as puberty. So some properties or some changes are both similar in male and female, that is boys and girls show the same change. There is thick hair growth under armpits, genital area, that is between the thighs. So both boys and girls can recognize this change. And thin hair growth all over the body, on your arms, on your face, also some parts of your legs, like that. There you can see thin hair formation. And skin, lot of people get irritated by this. Lot of teenage students, their skin becomes oily, which leads to formation of pimples. So if you have an elderly person at home, you can ask them. They will tell you that it will go away after few years or 1 or 2 years, depending on your puberty phase. But some of the changes you can see, boys have different changes, girls have different changes, because boys need to accommodate different type of conditions for their sexual needs, and girls need to accommodate different type of sexual characters. Here, boys, you can see cracking of voice, usually during the puberty phase, and also appearance of facial hair, which is a beard or mustache. And sometimes during day or night, you can see sudden penis erection. That we will get into the when we look into the diagram of male reproductive system. Similarly, in girls, we can see increase in breast size and darkening of nipple. Why does the breast size increase is when sexually we are mature, we are telling that the body is telling us that you are ready to have babies. To accommodate the mammary glands, we for the breastfeeding, the increase in breast size is seen. And also girls show menstruation. Even this we will look into when we will study the female reproductive organ. Now we will go in detail for male reproductive system. So male reproductive system has these parts, that is testes. You can see here testes. It is in a sac known as scrotum. Why it is in a separate sac? Because the sperms or the human male sperms are required to be in lower temperature. So our body heat is somewhere around 36 degrees Celsius. So it cannot survive in such conditions. That's why it needs to be in little bit outside the body temperature. Next, we can see a duct known as vas deferens, and it also has seminal vesicle, a gland, also the prostate gland. An exit of urine and the sperm happens through urethra, which is enclosed by the penis. You can see here. Now, the production of testes or the production of sperm happens in the testis, and it travels through vas deferens, and the additives, the secretions of seminal vesicle and prostate glands are added to the sperm, and it is exited through urethra. So what happens during an erection is you can see this blood capillaries. The blood of your body travels down to your penis, and you can see an erection. Okay, and this is about the male reproductive system.
Give your imagination wings. If you're willing to write something, what are you waiting for? Share your ideas and thoughts. Let your ideas reach out to millions. Get your articles published through our blogs for free.
Now let us move on to the female reproductive system. You can see the presence of ovary here. There are a pair of ovaries. You can see two ovaries, and ovary is connected to a duct called oviduct, or you can also call it as fallopian tube. So what happens is when a girl is born, it already has, the ovary already has millions of small, tiny, immature eggs in them. Once a woman reaches adolescence or when she hits puberty, these eggs start maturing. Every month, one egg gets matured and it is ready to be fertilized. That is, it waits for the male egg, male genetic material to be fused into the egg. But uh, along with these changes, you can see the uterus here. Uterus is where the baby grows. Here, it has to make certain changes to accommodate the incoming baby. It is if you are expecting a baby, it needs to add cushion walls here to the walls of the uterus. The uterine wall becomes spongy. It's usually hard. Now it becomes spongy to accommodate the baby womb. Also, this you can see the presence of cervix and vagina, where the entry of sperm is seen, and also you can pass urine through it. Here are the parts necessary for female reproductive system: ovary, fallopian tube, uterus, cervix, and vagina. So, if a female is fertilized with the sperm, then you can tell that a baby grows inside the womb. What happens if the egg goes unfertilized? That is, the female does not get fertilized, the egg does not get fertilized. All these, whatever the secretion or changes happens in the uterus, will shed down, and it is excreted through vagina. So you can see this cycle happens every month in females. That's why you can see bleeding. It lasts about 1 week for some, or it might be 2 days for some. It always changes. So this is due to the uterus wall shedding down and letting out all the changes. Then again it starts the cycle. This is known as menstrual cycle. Very important topic. So for our teenage life or middle-aged students is reproductive health. So you can see here many diseases such as gonorrhea, syphilis, or HIV/AIDS can be transmitted through sexual act. Some of these are bacterial. You can see gonorrhea is bacterial, syphilis is bacterial, and some of these are viral, such as HIV/AIDS. What do you do to prevent such diseases? Also, it can lead to unwanted pregnancy or premature pregnancy. During the teenage, it is not just required, your body is ready to bear a baby, but your mental stress, mental ability should be mature enough, not the body maturity. The mental maturity is also required to produce a baby. So let's see how do we prevent such diseases and also premature pregnancy or unwanted pregnancy. So you can see the use of condoms are the best way to prevent both of these. There are no distinct transmission of sexual diseases also, and there is no unwanted pregnancy also, as it acts as a physical barrier between the female and male. Also, to avoid unwanted pregnancy, you can use hormone altering pills or you can use copper T method. But these have their own complications. Some of the permanent methods after you decide not to have babies at all, vasectomy and tubectomy are two surgical methods that can prevent you to have baby for a, like you can be sure that you don't have a baby. But these use of condoms, hormone altering pills are effective but not 100%. There are some cases where people still get pregnant using these methods, but tubectomy and vasectomy are foolproof methods that you won't have kids. So that is about reproductive health. Please stay safe, students. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed the chapter.